Hi and welcome to Lincolnshire Fen Crafts. It's time for something fully festive, and as you can see in front of me I have this glorious Christmas wreath with our needle felted dried fruit, sort of traditional dried fruit, and the chili peppers. It's absolutely quite amazing how realistic you can get these to look, and it's quite simple. So I'm going to take you through all of that. If you didn't want to do the wreath, then you could adapt it like I have here. And you can see I've got this beautiful Christmas garland here with the same pieces on the fruit. But what I've done here is I've made my own little pom-poms just to, so it fills it out, makes it bigger, but they also look really gorgeous. I'm not going to show you how to make pom-poms. There's a million videos on YouTube for pom-poms, and most of you will know how to make them anyway, but if not, you know, just search for pom-pom tutorials and they will pop up. So whatever it is you want to make, all I've done is I've strung them on a piece of wool yarn in a sort of nice contrasting colour. And then what we've got here is we've got a polystyrene hoop, which is the base, and we've wrapped this is a forest green, I believe, a forest green wool top around it. And because it's polystyrene, there's no sewing required for anything. And then all you do is you just tack it as you wrap it around, which I'm going to show you as you go. And it's super easy to wrap it and just make it look brilliant as a base for the rest of your components. And then I've topped it off with this beautiful lush red wool top ribbon. So it's absolutely perfect for the festive season. A really nice modern take on traditional decorations, and of course it's sustainable. There's no plastic, and it will last for years and years. Just wrap it in some tissue paper when you put it away, or in a pillowcase, whatever you've got, whatever, you know, in a box, whatever, however you want to keep it. But just, you know, don't let it come into contact and be thrown about in the Christmas box like most of my stuff is. Keep it separate. So without further ado, I think we will crack on. So in front of me here I have all the wools and the bits and pieces that I'm going to need to complete this project, and we're going to take it one step at a time. So what I have here is I have my polystyrene hoop. Now this is a flat backed hoop, so you use a bit less wool, and also it sits against the wall quite nicely if you want to hang it actually on the wall. I've got different carded wools. You can use wool top or carded wools. I've got my forest green to wrap the hoop with. I've got my red for the lovely ribbon, and then I've got some smaller amounts of carded wool just to create some contrast and different colours with each slice. And then I also have a cookie cutter, sort of any size you want to do will do. You can use several sizes, which I often do. I will show you how to do this freehand as well. You don't need a cookie cutter, but it does make it easier if you want to get those really nice, perfectly round shapes. But don't worry if you haven't. You can also use, if you've got like a poster tube or some sort of cardboard tube, if you cut the end off with a bread knife, you can actually use that as your guide, which works just as well. I've used those in the past. So we will start by getting the hoop wrapped. Now what I've got here, I think I've got too much here. I've got about 40 grams of this forest green wool. If you're working from the kit or the wool bundle that you've purchased from the shop, then you'll have the right amount. But yeah, this is a lovely wool top forest green. The reason I use wool top for wrapping is because it's really strong. You can pull it really tight because it's got longer fibres than the carded wool. If you did that with the carded wool, then you can see that just pulls apart really easily, which is fine. You can use carded, but if you've got wool tops, then it's a little bit quicker and also a lot easier, and you can get that nice smooth sort of finish, that nice block of colour, which looks superb. So I'm not sure whether to No, I think I'll keep it as one piece. So this is the wool top that I've just pulled off a longer piece. So it's about the thickness of your wrist. If you've got a bigger hoop, you'll need more, but we'll see how much we need. I think I've got about 40 grams here. So doubled up. Yeah, I can actually show you 40 grams in length is about 60 centimeters. I think it works out because that's doubled up. So we'll say, sorry, 60 inches, but I don't think I'm going to need that. So what we're going to do is we're going to just start our hoop here and start by attaching it just at the back. Just tack it in, and that's the beauty of these polystyrene hoops, is that you can felt in this surface wool really easily. And make sure that you put all your felting marks at the back, so it's all perfectly neat at the front. And see, that's just holding. It doesn't need to be on too much. And then just take that around. And the trick is to keep this flat and pull that. You see how I'm able to pull that quite tight? And then you can tack just at the front here along these edges. You won't see them, but just felt that in there. And then push it through. And wrap it round. And it's a bit fiddly, but it's not difficult. And just use your hands to pull that round. There's very little felting goes on here, to be honest. It's just more a case of wrapping that wool round, keeping it nice and flat because you don't want it to bunch up. Keep pulling it through. You see, I'm not even using that needle anymore. I don't need to. I will do when I've sort of got a little bit further round, but no need. And just keep spreading that out. Make sure it doesn't bunch up. You want it nice and flat because you don't want any sort of lumps and bumps. So you can just open it up with your hands a little bit as you go around. And if you do that as well, you use less wool. This is quite thick because I want to make sure it's covered nicely. So can you see how easily that's going on? And if we turn it round, still nice and neat at the back. And just poke around a few times. That's it. And then keep going. So continue with that until it's wrapped. Just tidy it up, and then we will be ready to start our oranges.